Hey, everybody. Welcome to our podcast. This is the Soul Family. I have Sister Susan, Sister Maria, and Brother Raven on here, and myself, Brandy. Now, today we are with the Be Strong Courageous. We are all team members, and we're just going to go over tithing today. That is what our podcast is about. Now, what do you know about tithing?
Well, what I know is my grandpa always said, never trust a brother with ashy knuckles.
Oh! Is that what he really said, and where did that come from?
Hey, tithing, what I know is tithing been given a really bad name in a church world today, man. We be seeing the prosperity gospel going crazy. We've been seeing preachers be buying Bentleys and living in lavish luxury mansions and private jets. And is that what the Bible was talking about? Did Jesus come through in a private jet?
Nah.
No.
I don't think so. Who was the first person to tithe, y'all?
Oh, Abraham. I believe that was Abraham.
Abraham.
And give us the story on that account.
Well, I'm going to give you the street version. Okay. So Abraham had a cousin, our nephew, excuse me. He had some fam. His fam name was Lot. Lot and him had to separate. They went back. They went way, way back, right? So they had to separate. So Lot was living in this place called Sodom and Gomorrah. He over there in Sodom and Gomorrah, and back then they were weak. You know, the kings were weak and everything else. So he was paying taxes to be safe. It was like a bodyguard situation.
Who was he paying taxes to?
He was paying taxes to the king. He was like, King, I'm in your land, protect me. You know what I'm saying? You got soldiers, you got this. But what happened is that they ran up on him. They took Lot. They took all the people in that little kingdom. And what happened is that, well, you already know Abraham wasn't having it because that's his boy, that's his family. So he's like, hold on, let me get my homies. You know, I'm gonna round them up, and we're gonna go get my fam. And that's what Abraham did.
Who's driving? Who's driving? Who's driving? Yeah, who's driving?
Those boys came running, right? He's like, I'm gonna go ahead and take about 100 and some. We out of here. So he went ahead, he grabbed them up, right? So then the king, the one that was supposed to be protecting Lot, was like, hold up, give me back my people. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like he deserved it. But you know, Abraham, he had his own king. He had someone already in his territory that was in leadership that provided protection. So when his person showed up, he was like, nah, I'm gonna give it to mine. You know, because that's where I live. That's my hood. You know, so that's how it all started. You know, and the reason is because his king, when he came up there, he was like humble. He was like, hey, here's some food for your homies, you know, your soldiers. Here's a blessing, you know. I got you. You did all this, but I still got you. I'll make sure you're fed and taken care of. And that's why he gave that 10th.
Yeah, and after Abraham took his 318 guys to go take...
My bad.
Oh, she was accurate with the number.
Oops. I'm sorry.
Hey,
I could be completely wrong. I could be completely wrong. I thought it was 318 guys from his trained troops and went over there, and he battled all those kings by himself with just a blessing and some bread and wine. I thought that was pretty fantastic.
I mean,
Abraham turned into a gangster disciple. He wasn't just the father of faith. He said, I'm about to go hoorah for my nephew about mine. I heard that.
Oh, he did. Like that right there, it just shows where your loyalty is.
Yeah.
And so who was the person that came through after Abraham had got Lot back that gave the you say he gave some wine and something to his soldiers? Who was that?
King Melchizedek.
Melchizedek?
Melchizedek. I always get that name wrong.
I can't even say it sometimes, so.
Every time somebody tries to say something, I always say, spell it. Look, spell it.
No, remember that name? We can say we playing chess, not checkers.
Right there. All right, so what was the purpose, it sounded like, for tithing was Melchizedek received some tithing from Abraham because he provided some bread and wine to Abraham and the soldiers and stuff like that. So What happened? Who was the next person? Like, what's the next episode of tithing that we see in the Bible? Did God ever give anybody some orders or direct instructions to tithe?
The Israelites were supposed to pay the Levites basically for offering sacrifices for them and things like that.
Was that your baby?
What's going on?
All right. So, can somebody give me an account of what happened? When did the Levites receive the account? Like, what was going on? Give me a time period. Give me some background. Give me some more information.
What happened with the? I'm sorry. Could you repeat that?
I said, give me some more information about the tithe. How did who's supposed to give the tithe to the Levites? Like, who's supposed to give it to them?
Are you saying who are you saying who is supposed to be what they are supposed to be doing to the tithing, or who's
like what was the purpose of them giving the tithing? What was the reason?
To offer sacrifices.
To offer sacrifices?
I mean, I'm not sure if you're going with this with like protection, like taking care of the widows and stuff like that. Are we going some other direction?
No, I was just trying to get like a foundation. Like, was God with the children of Israel in the desert? Was this after Moses? Did God tell the Levites to get the tithing from the Israelites for a specific reason? Like, what was that? Because it sounded like tithing was had a specific purpose and a reason for giving tithing. You just didn't want to just give it to somebody just for nothing.
Well, the Levites are supposed to take care of the Israel people, the Israelites, and part of that tithing was for that protection, and they were responsible for the temple and taking care of the sacrifices and the temple on their behalf, which is cleaning the sanctuary and the temple. And they were supposed to take care of the Israelite children, and they didn't.
All I know wasn't for a light bill.
What?
I said all I know it wasn't for a light bill.
Oh, wasn't a gas up that private jet, huh?
Nah.
I ain't gonna lie to you. It's everything that God ever did, it always got perverted. You know what I'm saying? Once humans got a hold of something, it just always got tainted. It got messed up. So we could expect anything that, or any reason that God ordained anything, or any law that he set, or any ordinance he put in place, we can always know that as soon as it gets to the earth, it'll come with the original purpose, but then over time, after generation after generation, it slowly but surely, it becomes about self. You know what I'm saying? When humans get a hold of something and the flesh get involved, it never turns out good. So I seen that we got 2 Old Testament examples. We got any tithing in the New Testaments?
Well, that's another thing that we can discuss is what's the different ways of tithing. Did you know there's different ways of tithing?
Give me a fun fact, Susan.
Well, some of the ways of tithing is doing a pledge for a certain amount of time to help with a cause, whatever that cause or ministry is. It can be a pledge.
It could be actually using your gift.
Yeah.
You always have to have something about what money is involved in. It could be something that you're able to do for someone else or community.
Right. That's right. And even tithing could be as far as taking care of the widows that are in your family, taking care of the orphans that are in your family, not even just in your family, but just period. And even the homeless, like taking care of the homeless. When we see the homeless man at the store every single day or every other day, and actually just sitting and talking to them, and whatever we may have extra, whether it's, okay, well, I got some I cooked last night and I got some extra food left, going and giving him a plate, or giving her a plate. Or if we see a lady out and we see her a lot, like every other day or every day, the different things that we don't wear, we can give it to, the homeless person.
That sounds like outreach to me, to be honest with you.
I mean,
that goes a long ways, to be honest with you. It's the time you take to give somebody who's less fortunate and making them feel like a human again. You know, I'm noticing like with a lot of homeless people, the main thing they always say is, I just want somebody just to treat me like a regular person. You gotta think about it. The society nowadays is shuns somebody who's not got a job and taking care of bills and all that type of stuff. It shuns you. It makes you almost like ostracized. You know what I'm saying? I think. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I actually had experience with that recently, where I just did a simple thing. All I did was stop and let the person walk across the street and told them not to run. And he said, "Thank you for acknowledging me." You're about 1 out of 50 people that acknowledge me.
And that counts, man. That goes a long way. It can really build somebody up instead of like letting life steady tearing them down.
Yeah.
And that's exactly, it's a heart condition.
Yeah.
Tithing. It's a heart condition.
Yeah.
And God doesn't want you giving from the heart if it's not in the right heart condition.
That's right.
Did he say be a cheerful giver? Don't give grudgingly.
Yep. Yeah. That's in Proverbs 11:24 and through 25.
What does it say?
I don't have that in front of me right
now. It says
be a cheerful giver.
But if you're not going to be cheerful, don't give.
Don't give
That's
it.
Right.
If you're going to be grudgingly, don't give it. Don't do it.
Even like it's an obligation.
Exactly right.
Like a lot of people that do tithe and think like, okay, well, I'm giving my tithe, I'm doing something for God. And it's an obligation. It becomes an obligation. Like, okay, well, I'm going to give this amount to God because I know that this is what I have extra. I got a little extra over on my paycheck, so this is what I'm going to give to God. But not looking at it like with the right heart condition, where it doesn't even matter. It's not the same amount every single time that I'm just going to go ahead and I'm not shunning anybody that do that. But God is looking at the way that we give, like our heart posture while we're giving. Like, God, I'm giving this to you because I love you, God, because I want to give to you. And it don't have to be money, but just our time to God, sacrificing, watching this movie to give to God, or sacrificing, okay, well, I can take this extra food for lunch for myself. Instead of me taking it for myself, giving it to that homeless person or giving it to the neighbor that got a couple kids and she need help. And God will look at that like, well, that's the way that God do look at the way that we tithe.
Yeah.
Amen. Yeah. Amen. I like everything that's being said, but at the end of the day, it's really about just being obedient to the Father. You know what I'm saying? And whatever He's moving you to do, pulling you to do, you know, if it's your time, if it's your gift, using that, just dedicating yourself to something that's of service to somebody else. You know, blessing's supposed to go through you, not just to you. Straight up.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Do it from the heart. Don't make it just a routine gesture.
Yeah.
Do it from the heart. If it's not moving you to do it, then just don't do it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, if you're not doing it from the heart, then it's just a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's real.
And that's our podcast today. So be strong and courageous.
We should